as the Commanders prepare to take on the Ravens in.
It's a big one, Cakes.
I mean, I can't remember a more anticipated early season game for the Washington football team, Commanders, whatever name you want to call them.
No, this is literally, like Jay talked about it, Jay Gruden, when he did his pod with John Keim. This is the biggest game could be the biggest game of the year, regular season.
Yeah.
Big, and it's certainly the biggest game, I think, of the week. Most exciting, has that potential.
Oh, yeah. It's probably number one on the board.
Yeah. So with Jayden taking on Lamar, there have been comparisons drawn between the two. And we have some audio from both Dan Quinn and Jayden when they were asked about the question. Let's hear Jayden's response to the comp between him and Lamar from the Ravens.
I don't know. I mean, I think, growing up, high school, you get comparisons for college, and then college, you get kind of within the draft comparisons of who this is, kind of the skill set is like. But I'll say for me, it's kind of just, go out there and it's trying to be unique and trying to be not really different from everybody, and appreciate what they could do, because you always learn stuff from other quarterbacks within the league. I'm not closed-minded. I always want to be able to grow, but at the end of the day, I want to be known as Jayden Daniels and not the next such and such.
I can understand that. Wants his own identity, doesn't want to be comped to Lamar. And look, the guy's got 5 games under his belt. It's unfair to comp him to Lamar, who has 2 MVPs and has played in the league for much, much longer.
I don't think it's unfair.
It's not a fair comp.
I think they actually compare very favorably. They're very similar. So
I think there's a lot of similarities.
For us, I get why he doesn't want to be compared, but we're in the business of comparing, and I think that's a fair comparison. Who would you compare him to?
I just think it's unfair to comp him to a 2-time MVP when hasn't even gotten a half of a season.
I think they're just comparing just the style of play.
Play, skill set, and early success. Listen, I already told you, I'm going out there. I'm going over my skis. He's going to go down as one of the greats. He's going to go down as one of the greats, certainly of his generation.
If he stays healthy and keeps on this trajectory,
got
I don't
a
think
long
that's
ways
outrageous.
to go, but okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I just think he has all the tools. He's got a massive toolbox.
I think he has all the tools, but Justin Fields probably has all the tools too.
I'm not sure if he does. I'm not sure he does. I'm not sure he has the accuracy. I'm not sure he throws guys open. I'm not sure he's as polished a passer. In fact, I'm quite sure he's not as Jayden.
Has Justin Fields ever had a game where he's been like above 80%? Maybe
Didn't he have 4 touchdown passes against the Commanders?
I don't know if he was above 80%, but he looked like a Hall of Famer.
He did have a great game against the Commanders.
He looked great that day, and I root for Justin Fields, but I think Jayden is different.
I'm just saying that there's more to ability. Like, I think that they probably compare on athleticism and arm talent and all those things.
I think style of play. Pretty similar.
Yeah, it's style of play.
Pretty similar.
They're dual threats.
Personally, I actually think, and Valdez will hate this, I think that Jayden is going to prove to be a really adept passer, so a notch above. And I think Lamar's probably a more dynamic runner, a little shiftier. But I'm not saying Lamar's not a good passer. I just think that Jayden has potential to be better. But we'll see. Only time will tell. But I agree with you. Talent is only 1% of it, or 50% of it. The other part is the work ethic and all of that.
There are a lot of guys who have, maybe not a lot, but
plenty of guys can
there
run
are enough guys
throw.
Who have that ability. And what is separating Justin Fields from being great versus some of these others? It might be the showing up at 4 a.m. It might be the cerebral part. It might be the virtual reality set. And all of those things. The system you're in.
I was asking somebody about a player that was drafted, not by them, but he was a former first-round pick. And they said, basically, they insinuated that person wasn't putting the work in.
Wasn't grinding.
And it's all on that person. I'm not going to say what sport or whatever, but yeah.
Well, that's what we heard about Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Kyler Murray's #1 pick and has been solid. But he hasn't reached his potential.
Kyler Murray doesn't look like he loves playing the game when he's on the field.
I agree.
So I don't know where that comes.
I would be surprised if he likes baseball better.
I don't know where that comes from.
Jayden doesn't have a crippling Call of Duty addiction that we don't know about, does he?
I don't think so.
It's been kept secret.
I don't think so. He just seems to be the real deal.
That's a
if
good
you had
thing.
a crippling Call of Duty addiction, you probably wouldn't be at the park at 4 a.m.
I would guess not.
because you'd probably be up all night playing, and you'd be
Yeah.
too tired to get up. I don't know.
But to answer the question, I don't think it's unfair to compare them because they both play a similar style.
They have a similar style. They do.
Kind of similar physical attributes. I mean, Jayden's a little taller, but I mean,
Doesn't it get
they're both
mentally
very
exhausting
fast.
though to comp these guys to all these other guys? Can't you just watch the game and enjoy them for what they are? That's
but
kind
you're
of the way
always kind of comparing.
Are you telling me that you don't compare athletes?
I mean, I've done.
I find
it before,
that very
but
hard to
I
believe.
think I've evolved.
I haven't paid
I think
attention
I've
to
evolved
it.
past that.
So
No,
when
I don't-
Alex Sarr
I don't
comes
feel
up,
a need to
Look,
always
if there's
comp
a
guys to
if there's
somebody
a
else.
bigger quarterback, and I'm just going to throw race out there, bigger white quarterback
Mhm.
coming out of college who's 6'4", 6'5", has got a really good arm. Who's he going to be compared to?
Peyton Manning,
No,
Tom Brady.
he's
Josh
a
Allen.
runner. Josh
Oh,
Allen.
runner.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you
Right.
say
Sorry,
runner.
yeah. So he's
Right.
going to be compared to Josh Allen.
Well, yeah, that's some of it.
I just
Look, Caleb Williams. Who was he compared to? Because they played a
Mahomes.
similar style, arm angles.
look. I digest watching football differently than I guess most of the people in this
Are
room.
you telling me when Alex Sarr was coming out and you started looking at tape, or your guy Bilal Coulibaly,
Love Bilal.
you
I
didn't comp him
discovered
to
him.
another player
I
in the
discovered
league?
him.
You did compare him to somebody.
I mean,
You have to because you have to project like what you
Eh.
think this person can be.
I just
So it's
You
natural.
do, Cakes. It's
Well,
natural. I get
don't-
it. You're in a
maybe I
box
do,
right
Maybe
now.
I just minor in it. I just it's a minor. It's not a major.
Listen,
I
I'm
don't
not thinking
major in
about
it.
Lamar when he's playing, but if you asked me who is his game most similar to, I think I would say Lamar.
All right, let's hear what head coach Dan Quinn had to say about the comp between his quarterback and Lamar Jackson.
I would say if I had to pick one that both of these two are elite competitors, like at the highest level. And that shows on the tape, the way they extend plays, the way they finish, the way they lead their group. So that's the part, if I was to make a comparison, it would be something intangible like that. Both of them have their own unique ways about them. But in this game, all these guys are fantastic competitors. And then like in most profession, there's the elite, and these two guys are elite at it.
He doesn't
Right.
want to. He doesn't sound like he wants to make physical comparison,
Doesn't seem like
which
it,
is
no.
fine.
You know what? I'm on Coach Quinn's side. Me and DQ, we were hanging out together.
By the way, is it just
You
me or
boys.
is Jayden Daniel? I mean, what a great athletic name, right?
Yeah, it
It's
just
a
pops.
great name. Like Eric Bickle is not a great
No,
athletic
it's not.
name.
Neither
You know
is
what I
John Allville.
Yeah,
It's not very good.
Jayden Daniels. is
Lamar
just-
Jackson.
Lamar
just-
Jackson's
just
a great
pops.
name.
Just jumps out at you.
It is. I'm sorry, Matt.
Similar amount.
Matt
I'd say
Myers,
Eric
not a great
Bickle.
name. Matt
Eric
Cahill,
Bickle
not
and Jayden Daniels have the same amount of syllables, I think.
it's not. It's not great.
I think we've reached peak glazing.
What do you mean?
We're going
Chalking
over
his
for
name.
about his birth name.
No.
His parents did
We're
a
at
good
peak
job.
glazing
Some
right now.
guys, some guys.
Some names pop, others don't. Like
you don't think Drake May is a cool name?
Drake May is a good name.
Good
Here's
name.
another good name.
Good name.
NFL good NFL name. Nico Collins. Just
Great
sounds
name.
like a good.
Well, I think for
good name.
quarterback,
hold on.
Jackson Dart is a silly name.
Jackson Dart's a
But if-
really good name.
But if Nico Collins was
Phil Collins.
Security guard.
a teacher at your kid's school, you'd say you would
Yeah,
never
but
say,
it's the fact
"Hey,
that
it
he's a
sounds like an
star.
NFL."
You wouldn't
Why
go
not?
up to him and go,
It's only
"Hey,
because they're
Professor
NFL
Collins,
players.
I think you should have been a football
Hey, you know
player."
what?
You just
I've
spit
got,
all
I've
over
got
you.
one for you. This guy is very unproven, but he's got a great name. Spencer Rattler.
That's a good name.
That's a great name.
It's a great
now, he may
athletic name.
suck at playing NFL quarterback. We're going to see.
No, not
this
a great
weekend.
name. Not a great name because you could call him Spencer Rattled.
Maybe if
You can make fun of him easy.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I guess.
But I'll tell you where I first not came up with, but where I first became aware of the idea of a great athletic name is when I was 14 years old, and the New York Mets called up Darryl Strawberry, and everybody said this kid's unbelievable talent, and he's got an amazing name.
But you also liked Chris Hamburger as a kid.
Well, that was a little before my time, to be honest with you.
Is Brett Favre a silly name?
it's kind of a good
Kind
name.
of a good name. I don't
No,
like
it's not.
Favre.
It's one of the worst names ever.
Is Patrick
No.
Mahomes some great name? He's a great player.
Tom
Made it a
Brady.
great- Those
Tom
guys
Brady's kind of boring.
they've made it iconic.
Matt Ryan.
I don't think Matt Ryan. I
Boring.
don't think Matt Ryan's a great name.
Boring name. Pretty
Right.
boring. Let's
I
be
think
honest,
LeBron
pretty
James is
boring
a great
quarterback.
name.
Okay, what about John Wall?
Good name.
That's a terrible name.
That's a great
What are you
name.
talking
Maybe the
about?
worst superstar
John
name.
Wall's a good name.
It's the most boring name in history, but he's a
Come on, Trav.
superstar.
Maybe. So I think Jayden Daniels is a great name. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
What about-
I think you staying up at night thinking about his name is.
I thought about it the other day.
Yeah,
I thought,
I know.
man, what a great. This kid's even got a great name. His name could have been. I don't know what it.
Sam Darnold.
No.
Sam Darnold is not great.
Right.
I'm
Matthew
trying-
Stafford.
What if
Matthew
his
Stafford's
name
what
was
pretty good.
Deshaun Watson.
Good
Great name, great
bad
name.
person, worst
Ba-
quarterback.
Terrible.
great name though? Great name. It's a great
You
name.
like that name?
Mhm.
It's a great name.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Purdy's
Nerd-
not great.
Sounds
Great.
nerdy.
No, no.
He turns
You know
into
what?
Brock Nerdy. No,
Great name.
not great.
Brock Purdy, great name.
Kirk,
No.
Joe Burrow.
Kirk
No, you see,
Cousins.
Your bias for you like
Kirk
the
Cousins is not a
quarterback
great
is
name.
We're
blending in.
grading names.
Kirk Cousins, great
know.
name.
Kirk Cousins,
I don't
awesome
think so.
name.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
back
Go
to
ahead,
the
give me some.
play.
I'm gonna try to give
Back
you
to
a
the
good one.
play.
Kirk Cousins. No, it's not a great name.
What?
Back to the play. I get Dan Quinn not wanting to compare, but I'm totally with Jason. Their style of play compares.
Yeah.
Now, one could argue that right now, Jayden Daniels seems to be more advanced through 5 games passing than Lamar did early, but he also wasn't given a chance. How many games did it take for him to supplant Joe Flacco?
I don't know. I'm just
No, he
obsessed
didn't.
with names now. Derrick
He
Henry,
wasn't-
good name.
He wasn't supplanted.
Flacco
Joe got
hurt.
injured.
Okay.
Yeah.
They put Lamar in, and then they went on a 6-game winning streak.
Right.
Oh.
Then they couldn't put Joe back
So
in
was
after.
it 10 games in or so?
Yeah, like
Joe
9, 10.
Flacco, elite name.
No, Joe
According to Valdez.
Flacco, not a great name. That's a good example. That's not a great name.
Right, it's not fantastic.
Go ahead, give me a few more. I'll tell you. I'll be the
Dak Prescott. That's a good,
Good
name.
name.
good name.
That's a good name.
Kurt
Keno
Warner.
Kurt Warner, pretty good.
Average name. That's just
you,
average.
you guys like all
I-
the names.
Well, they only like it
No, you know what
because
name I don't
who
like?
they were.
I'll tell you a name right now I don't like. Alex Sarr. I don't think that's a
Yeah,
great
'cause you
name.
call him Alex Sorry.
I don't think that's a great name.
What about if we're going with quarterbacks? I'll go with Hall of Famers. Troy Aikman,
Great name.
Peyton Manning.
Great name. They all they
Peyton-
do.
Peyton
None of
Manning?
them. None of them are Eric Bickle. None of them are John Alvin.
Right.
None of them are
You know
John
what?
Paul
Jason
Flynn.
Yeah, but if
Bishop is a
Eric
good
Bickle,
name.
if Eric
I
Bickle was
know.
a Hall of Fame quarterback, you'd say great name.
No, you'd
Yes,
say.
I
But he's
agree
just a
I'm not-
Donkey
no,
Kong
you-
I'm not.
that,
No.
that cuts his toenails during commercial breaks. Of course, it's not a great name. You like that one?
What about Eric? What about Ben Roethlisberger?
That's a terrible name.
If he says good
Awful
name,
Roethlisberger's not a good name.
No, that's a terrible name.
It's impossible.
It's just so unique, though.
See?
It's so unique. Listen, I wouldn't want to be called a Roethlisberger.
No.
That's worse than
You don't
Allville.
want to be called a burger.
I
Anything
think that's-
burger.
I think it's worse than Allville.
Burger.
Daniel Berger, the PJ golfer, he hates that.
Average.
He hates that name.
Average name. Tiger Woods. Great name. Eldrick Woods.
Eldrick,
terrible.
terrible.
Yeah, not great.
Tiger. Great. Incredible name.
I would agree with that.
Charlie Woods. Boring. They botched it.